What's cracking, everybody? Zerfel Rose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battling content. In today's video, we're going to be bringing you a video featuring Shadow Poliwrath in the Fighting Cup. Yes, there is a Sneasler on the screen, and I'm not ashamed of it because I got it legally. Suck it. Yeah, I didn't break TOS to get the Sneasler, I'm just saying. Look at the IVs. Like, obviously, I didn't farm for good IVs. I got a really crappy Sneasler, and I just built it because it was the only one I had. So, Hakamo on the back. Obviously, by now you probably know by playing the Fighting Cup that Hakamo is like the best save switch in the whole cup because it's basically uncontested damage that can't be beat. So we're going to see today why Poliwrath, though, is going to be one of the best core breakers in the Fighting Cup, and we're going to get right into this battles right now. So we've got Sneasler on the lead here. Now, Sneasler on the lead works because what we're trying to do is we're trying to strip early shields. Or come back in with energy because those aerial aces almost one-shot everything in the cup. It's actually kind of dumb. And the thing with Toxicroak is that you win every even shield scenario just because you win CMP with the Sneasler. So the opponent essentially is forced to either go and lose the lead matchup, go down however many shields because you get the shield before they do, or they have to be fancy and try and catch an aerial ace on something that is going to take super effective damage from an aerial ace. My opponent brings in a Poliwrath here, which I need to be cautious of because it does have Ice Punch, but I'm going to bring in my Hakamo here just to try and get it, get some damage in before, get a little farm down maybe. And they are going to throw the Ice Punch. I'm going to let it go because I know that an Ice Punch from a Shadow Poliwrath, which is why we're running the Shadow Poliwrath. 2 shots, Hakamo, but they're only going to get to 1, so I'm fine here. Now, I do try to like get to 2 Dragon Claws or just get as many Dragon Tails in as I can before my opponent would sneak one through and take me out. So they put up their final shield here in order to keep their Hakamo healthy, and my Poliwrath comes out and it has a shield, and I know I can take a Dragon Claw from here. And the other Pokemon that they have in the back is going to be that Toxicroak. They should know full well that instead of bringing in their Toxicroak, I mean, there's no good way to do this because the Toxicroak is not going to be able to get through the shield. So I look to CMP them here. Otherwise, what I was going to do is I was going to try and throw with, you know, optimal timing to prevent them from catching a move. So Ice Punch comes through, takes it out, and I'm going to be able to force them to throw their energy with my Sneasler, and then I'm going to get to an Ice Punch probably before they get to the move, because they only threw like 2 counters, I think, before that. So I get into this Ice Punch before the opponent's Toxicroak gets to the Mud Bomb, and that is going to close this game out, and that is a good game. Well played. This, I mean, the Fighting Cup, nice thing I like about the Fighting Cup here is that the Fighting Cup is not RPS, unless you want it to be, right? And video coming out earlier or later this week about an actual RPS team from Fighting Cup. But here we got Sneasler against the counter users. This is a good lead for Sneasler because if the opponent throws before I get to the aerial ace, I know it's a Night Slash and I can no shield it. And if they throw at the CMP, it's possibly an Ice Punch. I do have to respect the Ice Punch because it is, you know, a Primeape is a lot of damage. Yeah, that's an angry pig, and he hurts. So I do have to shield the Ice Punch. I do want to at least get all their shields gone. The idea with the Sneasler here is to get shield advantage in the early game. Now, the opponent here goes for the Night Slash. I want to find out if I can tank it. I don't know if I can, but I'm about to find out. And I can't. So I just go down, and that's okay. Because now that's going to give my Hakamo a chance to farm down. And my opponent freaks out and comes straight in with Toxicroak. And that's the whole point of this team, as I was trying to say, right? So Sneasler is going to pull shields in early game, and then Poliwrath and Hakamo can easily take advantage of having shield advantage here. Hakamo, the reason why I'm not running Como 2, I was Double Dragon is busted in this cup, but everyone else is running Double Dragon, and who wants to see a video about Double Dragon, right? You'd all rather see Poliwrath kick some butt, so that's what I'm doing here. And the Poliwrath is good because across the entire meta, Ice Punch and Scald, it's hitting everything for at least neutral damage. And most of the meta is Dragons. So I'm farming all the way down with Poliwrath, and you're going to find out that a Poliwrath with energy is extremely dangerous. And now Poliwrath has so much energy loaded that it's going to hit to throw. You know what happens to throw? It gets 2-shot by Scald from a Shadow boosted Poliwrath. And you're going to find out here. I don't have a Kaboom because it's not too much damage, but Scald, 1-shot, 2-shot, red shot, blue shot. Done. Cool. And then the opponent has a Primeape in the back with like no HP and no energy, so this is pretty much, it's over. So good game to my opponent there. Poliwrath just asserting its big-fisted dominance. like it deserves to. All right, Hakamo, though, this is a bad lead because Sneasler just straight lead loses to these dragons, so I safe swap in Poliwrath. I'm going to get a quick shield from my opponent before they can throw their Dragon Tail, or their Dragon Claw, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to force them to swap out, and then I can hopefully get my Sneasler on it later with some energy, but the opponent's not swapping out, so they're committed here with their Como. And I'm thinking they probably don't have a really solid response. Maybe they've got Toxicroak in the back. So I do let it go because I want to be able to keep my shields here. I need to keep them for Sneasler to do what Sneasler does best. And I can come in here now with my Como, get a couple quick Dragon Tails off, but not before my opponent gets to a move. Oh dear lordy Lou, it's such a frustrating thing dealing with these dragons. I mean, as a dragon user myself, their best response now is the Hakamo. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to throw on CMP so that nobody sneaks any moves through, and I'm going to actually be able to, I believe, get to do Dragon Claws here before they can take me out, and I'm going to test that theory right now. I'm going to throw this first Dragon Claw. I bet you there's Toxicroak in the back, because if they're not running ABB dragons, they're running ABA dragons with a Toxicroak somewhere in there. And look, there's the Toxicroak. Sneasler's going to come in, but unfortunately Sneasler is not going to be able to get to a Mud Bomb, or get to the Aerial Ace before Toxicroak gets to the Mud Bomb, so my opponent keeping the shield, knowing that they would survive that Dragon Claw, is actually pretty huge. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get out of this matchup before they counter me down. So that is a good game. Well played to my opponent. The Double Dragons overtook me, and Double Dragons are honestly, they're one of the harder things to deal with in this meta, right? Like, I only have a Poliwrath and an Nessie Dragon. Now, I'll tell you what, the one thing that beats the dragons in these metas, Lucario, solid. Next video, keep your eyes out. Hit the subscribe button so you get notified when that video goes up, because that's a banger. It's coming. My patrons did real well. I climbed over 100 points with that thing, but this team also, I climbed like 100 and something points with this team. Climbed another 100 points with the other team that's coming out in a couple days. So keep your eyes peeled and feast out. Whatever. I don't know what the word is. I can't English right now. It's late. Leave me alone. Sneasler is going to be doing what Sneasler does best. Going to get that Toxicroak KO, and they're going to come in with the Hakamo. Now here's the thing, is the opponent brought in their Hakamo, and I brought in my Hakamo, and I'm going to turn behind. So sometimes the switch works where the person who swapped loses a turn, and sometimes it doesn't. And it's infuriating because you're supposed to be able to plan for these kinds of things, and it's wildly inconsistent, and I hate it. And look, the Hitmonchan comes out of nowhere. My opponent was able to get, I'm pretty sure I saw a Dragon Tail come through on that, but I could be crazy. But anyway, so they've got the Hitmonchan, and usually they're not running Thunder Punch, so I don't need to shield anything here, and they're just going to hit me with a Power-Up Punch. That's fine. I'm going to be able to get the 2 Ice Punches here before they're going to be able to take me out, and that will at least make sure that this Hitmonchan gets laid out. Opponent shields. Coming in with my Sneasler. Going to absorb this energy. I wanted to try and, farm down here, so what I'm going to try to do is try to farm down, but their Power-Up Punches are just too much, and we end up simultaneously KOing. But because Poliwrath had the Ice Punch loaded, gonna be able to take it here. Good game. Bye, dragons. I can deal with less dragons. Honestly, the dragons are driving me nuts. I'm like, I want to play this cup. And there's the Mad Lad running the Lucario, and I respect it. But they're running it against my Sneasler, which is not the kind of matchup that you want your Lucario to be locked into. But the thing is I really can't swap here because Hakamo's in the back. Poliwrath, yeah, I could swap in here, but I'm not doing much damage to this Lucario with my Mud Shots. And it'll take me out before I get the chance to do anything. So I'm going to play the shield game. I'm just going to try and get a shield here. I'm going to go into my Poliwrath and start trying to get ahead on energy. And my opponent throws another Power-Up Punch. They didn't even bother to build up to a nuke or anything. So that's how I know it's a Power-Up Punch. So I'm going to try and get this Ice Punch off before they get to another Power-Up Punch or try to farm them down. And I kind of realized that I should have thrown the energy already, so I just have to let the Lucario go. This thing is raking half of my team right now, so this is bad. Look at how much damage. I have a Hakamo. That's all I've got left, dude. But I've got a shield advantage. After I throw this Aerial Ace, the Aerial Ace is going to guarantee that I'm going to be able to get a shield or take out this Toxicroak almost. Oh, it's Sneasler! Well, you know what? That did a lot of damage to Sneasler, and because we've got because they've got a Como and it's less bulky than the Hakamo, That's actually going to make a difference here because I'm going to be able to get a shield. I'm going to be able to force them to throw a move, and then I just need, I think, one more Dragon Tail and I take it out. And then the Sneasler is like within 1 or 2 Dragon Tails of going down. So this is actually a good game to my opponent. Very well played though, but that Lucario, I was worried, dude. That thing like raked through half of my team, no problem. That was terrifying, legit. And that's why Lucario is so strong in this meta. In a meta full of fighting types that hard counter Lucario. It's doing good, and I'm going to show you. I just had to throw this out. This is the first team I ran into Fighting Cup, and I was doing real well with it. Obviously, I mean, you could tell, you know, we're clapping cheeks here, so we're doing something right. So the opponent has the Como lead. So once again, because it's a dragon, I hard swap into my Poliwrath. I'm going to throw the Ice Punch before they can get to a Dragon Tail, and I'm going to continue to try and either force shields or do big damage to the Como. The less Dragon Tails I have to deal with my Sneasler is going to be the better option for me now. I probably could have discussed it in the beginning of the video, but if you're looking to run any replacements, maybe you don't have a Sneasler, because most of the world, honestly, doesn't have a Sneasler, and that's okay. You could run, if you went to Seattle, and you didn't spoof, because nobody does that, right? You could, excuse me, run a Buzzwole. You could also run a Sneasel. Just the Hisuian Sneasel. Doesn't even have to be Sneasler. Our Hisuian Sneasel does just as well. The thing with Sneasler is that it wins against everything else in the cup. It's a CMP. So that's why it's so good. If you have a Sneasel, that's like the second highest attack rate in the entire cup. And then it goes Buzzwole and then Toxicroak. I think Toxicroak is honestly, it's good, but it loses CMP sometimes, and that's actually kind of important for the role that the Sneasler provides to get the early shield advantage. So, those are the alternatives you could run over the Sneasler. Poliwrath kind of is accessible and has its own niche, so I'm not really, don't really have any replacements for that. And Hakamo, if you don't want to spend the dust on the Hakamo, you could run Como, but Hakamo having that extra bulk really helps, and mine specifically, apparently it has the IVs to beat other crappy IV Como or Hakamos, so I'm totally okay with that. Now my opponent swamps into Toxicroak here. And even shields to my Sneasler, which means they auto lose this matchup, and I have the opportunity to just take them out. So I'm going to be able to overfarm here just by a little bit, get to the second aerial ace, and I'm going to be able to take them out here. I do shield this. Obviously, I need to. But Sneasler is just going to, it's so good. Like, Sneasler is hands down probably one of the most busted things in this whole cup, and I hate the fact that it's so very hard to obtain. It's just... it sucks. But anyway, Sneasler was able to take that one again. Really, honestly, Poliwrath and Sneasler are like the 2 MVPs of this team. Sneasler, just like, it does get the shields early, but if it gets the chance to close too, it's just, its charge moves almost one-shot things in this cup, which is just too dangerous, honestly. And I completely agree that it probably shouldn't be legal in the cup, but it's Niantic and it's their meta and they do what they want, and they release all of these increasingly hard to get things. So, fine. Poliwrath lead. What I like to do is I like to come in with my Poliwrath, load up on a ton of energy and wait for my opponent to swap out, and then unload all of that energy. Now, I know that my opponent was running, they didn't even bother to build up to the, you know, anything past the power-up punch, so I, for some reason, thought I had a Scald ready, so I was going to try and get the Scald off when I should have just gone for the Ice Punch, so that was my my mistake. But I should have just gone for double Ice Punch, but it's fine. So Hitmonchan's going to have one shield down, doesn't really have much of an energy lead on my Sneasler, so I'm going to be able to build up a ton of energy and go for an Aerial Ace, and what I'm really looking to do here is catch a potential punch on my Hakamo. Now, the reason why I do this is because I figure they're going to go for Power-Up Punch, and all they have to do is, you know, obviously hit me with the Power-Up Punch, and they win. So what I did there was I was able to force them to throw the energy, and I redirected it at my Hakamo. Having all that energy on Sneasler essentially means that I can get 2 Aerial Aces off and basically blow the pants off of everything else on their team because they don't have much HP left on their team. So, all I need to do here is I need to let Hakamo do its job. It's going to eat a charge move, or it's going to lose CMP, which is totally fine with me. Now my Sneasler should be able to come farm down, which is the only win condition I had. Unfortunately, Sneasler is way too... it's not thick, it's the opposite. It's too thin, right? It's too frail to really be able to farm down. Maybe if I had better IVs, sure, maybe. But In the end, the only win condition I had there was farming down with Sneasler, so that's all there is to. Look at Sneasler, looks so cool, dude. Look at the claws and the little feather coming out of its head. It looks so cool. It looks better when it's in like a fighting pose. And when I was playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, I guess for you technically correct people, when I played it in PLA, basically it was standing up straight and it looked dopey as hell. So, when it has that fighting pose, I think it looks much cooler anyway. So, and plus, I don't know, Shadow Claw is just such a good move. So it's like if it has Shadow Claw, it can't be bad, right? So Dragon Mirrors here. I'm essentially just trying to take them out, leaving them with minimal farm here. Their Poliwrath is going to come in and get more than a few of these mud shots in. I think I have to mirror with my own Poliwrath, which at a shield, no shield advantage or disadvantage, but they've got a bunch more energy. I essentially just have to guess that and hope that they're not running Dynamic Punch, and they try to bait me with Scald, which is interesting, or bait me with Ice Punch here, which is interesting. I would have just gone straight for the Scald here just to try and get the attack debuff, you know, like that. So I'm going straight for attack debuffs here. I'm not messing around with, you know, potential baits and stuff. So I go straight for Scald like I was just talking about, and I'm going to be able to hit him. And now I can go for the Ice Punch because that's a lethal shot there. So if I can take out their Poliwrath, then Sneasler is hopefully going to be able to, with a shield, take out this Toxicroak, even though Toxicroak is kind of able to just punch me down at this point. I got nothing, man. This is it. I don't think, unless my Poliwrath has an Ice Punch loaded, I don't think I'm winning this, but that's fine. It is what it is. Sneasler is just not as good as it needs to be, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get there. Oh, but my opponent makes an absolute mistake here, and they throw energy allowing me to sneak that Ice Punch through, and I shield it, and I'm going to go for the Ice Punch, but they had to, and it's CMP, so that's it. Very unfortunate. Is what it is, man. But the nice thing about Fighting Cup is it's not RPS. It's all about who manages their shields and their energy better, and that's what matters, and that's why it's actually not a terrible meta. Now, could we do without Dragons, Sneasler, and Buzzwole? Absolutely, I believe so, but then there would be a lot less things to have fun with. So here we are again with a Sneasler Toxicroak lead, and the opponent goes to catch a move. What did they catch? I didn't see what they catch on. They just caught a super effective Aerial Ace on something. It's a Hakamo, so you have fun with that. And then I'm going to be able to just Dragon Tail down before you even get to a move, which is not ideal for the Hakamo safe swap. And they come with Toxicroak. They've got a Mud Bomb and then some loaded. But these Dragon Tails are going to do some serious damage that they're going to have to start shielding in order to not get clapped by these. And if they try to counter me all the way down, they do have to give up 2 shields. So here I say I'm just going to let it go. I'm giving up my my Hakamo here, even though he has energy. And because that's what I wanted my opponent to do. I wasn't going to throw until I had, you know, good timing, because I want them to throw the energy so they can't throw it at my Sneasler. Now, Sneasler with the shield farms all the way down, has probably 2 Aerial Aces, 2 close combats, whatever comes in, is not going to have a good time. And they're going to get farmed down, and let's see what's in the back here. With a one shield scenario, we've got Poliwrath on a Coma. Oh, I swap in my Poliwrath here, because I'm essentially, what I'm trying to do here is, I'm going to get their shield. I can get to 2 Ice Punches before they can get to enough Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail damage to take out my Poliwrath. And by then, my Sneasler wins CMP and is able to one-shot the Como no matter what. Unless I get a 1-turn desync issue, that would be a very big problem. So I save the shield for Sneasler. Gonna land an Aerial Ace or a close combat at this point, depending on how I'm feeling. And then I'm going to be able to take out this Como because Sneasler has a higher attack stat going straight for the Aerial Ace, and then is going to KO this Como, and that is a good game. Well played to my opponent. You can have a Kaboom, just because it's Aerial Ace. Because Aerial Ace is terrible. And here we go. We got the next game here. Nice thing about Fighting Cup 2, short games. Throw. Terrible. Terrible lead. I need to get out of this. This is the one thing you don't want there to be a throw again. And the opponent is staying in for some reason with the throw. I would like to think you'd try to keep that locked into the Sneasler, but what they do is they allow me to get a ton of energy on my Hakamo, which, yeah, she's very excited. But, you know, Hakamo kind of creams a throw. So if they decide not to swap out, they're going to lose their hardest answer to my Toxicroak unless they've got something else in the back that can deal with it, or they just don't have any dragons in the back. Now, I made a mistake here. I should have just taken it out. I was just really trying to get some farm, and I wasn't expecting my opponent to swap in this scenario, so that was a mistake by me. not the smartest thing I've ever done, that's for sure. That's going to come back to bite me later, I'm sure. So these Dragon Claws come in, and we're doing the usual trade-off with my Poliwrath, trying to throw Ice Punches with the best timing I can think of in order to try and prevent them from getting any extra Dragon Tails through. One Ice Punch gets through, 2 Ice Punches are going to get through, or 2 Mud Shots are going to get through here. And I'm looking to just continue to load up on energy. What I want to do is try to get to a second Ice Punch here before they get their Dragon Tails off. I don't remember who wins CMP here though, so essentially I need to get this Ice Punch off. That's kind of my hope. And I throw again, once again with good timing, throwing that one fast move in between my charge moves to make sure that I'm not giving my opponent free energy. And the Ice Punch comes in, and I'm going to be able to farm it down with Sneasler by sniping in because the Dragon Tail animation was just a little bit too long. Once again, my freaking charge move, or my fast moves were too... They were just too, you know, the thing with the desync, right? The one turn, it's not supposed to happen. But close combat does a lot of damage to a Como. Look at it. Takes out Como in one shot. A little bit of Shadow Claws and some close combat action takes out the entire Como. And that's fantastic. So we got a Sneasler lead, folks. We're going to find out which Sneasler wins CMP. Maybe. I decided not to. I don't like playing mirrors, so I just swapped right out. So their Como comes in, but it comes in about a little bit late, so they're not going to be able to sneak a move back on me. And anyway, going back to the whole desync thing earlier, they should have been able to get a Dragon Tail off instead of getting sniped down if my swap took one turn like it was supposed to. So this is an issue that needs to be addressed by Niantic. Man, this is ridiculous. I leave this Como with enough HP to farm it down, but I'm going to take a ton of damage trying to do it. But what I really want to do with this, since they have a shield, I want to be able to get a bunch of energy so that I can overwhelm their Sneasler with my own Sneasler. Really? I'll do what she said. That sounds like a better plan. Or Poliwrath is going to be able to take it out. Now, I'm wondering if they're running Double Dragon here, so I feel like my energy here is going to be good, but they come in with the Sneasler, and I'm going to be able to get to 2 Aerial Aces before they're going to be able to get to another Aerial Ace because I had so much extra energy. But they're running X-Scissor, which is insane to me. So I am going to throw an Aerial Ace here. I want to get the shield off of this dragon here that just swapped in. And I'm going to try and save one more Aerial Ace here and go for it. I want to get the shield. I want to get the damage. I'm going to come in with Poliwrath, and I'm going to be able to get to an Ice Punch here before the opponent is going to be able to get there. And I should be able to get the 2 Ice Punches here before I get taken out by their Pokemon. So we are going to find out how good this Poliwrath is to Corebreak the Poison Fighters and the Dragons. And my daughter seems to think that they are extremely good because she is so excited. Look at you. Yeah, she's watching in excitement. These Ice Punches are going to go off. Ice Punch number 1 comes through, and Ice Punch number 2 is going to get the Sneasler, and then it's going to take it out. And this child is adorable and a half. You are so cute. Yeah? Look at that. Gonna take out the Sneasler. That's all you had to say? You don't have more? She's better at shoutcasting these things than I am. Anyway, that's all the video I've got for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Quick shout out to my patrons. You guys have been ready for Fighting Cup for over a month, and thank you for your support. If you want to join the patron group, we can absolutely scream. Yes, we can. We joined the patron server, and I'll be doing early deep dives for the patron group every meta for every season that I'm ever playing this game. So if you guys want early tips, tricks, and all that stuff, and the teams to be ready for your for the new metas when they come out, hop in that patron group, link in the description. I also offer coaching on Metafy for you to check out if you want to try and improve your skills. Maybe you just watched Worlds over the weekend and that was a fantastic show of what this game could be. And if you're looking to get better at the game, I offer coaching on Metafy. Also link for that in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next video. And so we see. Bye.